Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Project Pixel. On today's video, keeping with the theme of go big or go home, we're going to be taking a look at this Stormtrooper helmet. And this build itself took a grand total of 43 minutes and 24 seconds to actually build. Now, this is being built on a 64x64 lot in The Sims 4 and will be available to download at the very end of this video on the Sims 4 gallery. Just search Mysterious Mr. Ryan and you should find all the details for it available for download. Now, this build itself, although it actually took just over 40 minutes to build, it actually takes a lot longer to design. Now, this particular build, let's explain something about the design process for this one. So, Stormtroopers are very, very iconic, so I wanted to make sure I got the perfect model. Now, sadly, there's not really great pixel models for a Stormtrooper, none that, were particularly exciting to build. So what I've done is taken several different ones of the base pixel models, taken several of the concept images, design images and such, and kind of merged them all together in Photoshop to build a model that I could use. And basically, ladies and gentlemen, this is the finished product. So as for colours on this build, as you can see, it's made of four core colours. There are a couple of blacks that will come into play, and you can see one of them is in use here, and there will also be a metal grate. Now, this build, probably not the most complex I've done. Rapidash is certainly going to be rating pretty high on that list, purely for the sheer volume of colours that were in Rapidash. But this build has the one added difficulty, which is repetition of shapes and designs. So just working on Nose Bridge now, and you will see this a few times, there will actually be times I make massive mistakes in the building. And that's because you wouldn't think counting to no more than about 10 would be that much of a problem, but trust me, it really is. Now, the debug menu is actually in effect for this build to actually grab those metal grates, which I use as kind of a grill or a vent area, I suppose is a better way of describing it. You'll actually see that predominantly gets used on the top part of the head and across the nose cross sort of bar where all the vents are for that. Now, the reason why the build actually got moved just then, it actually got centered up a little bit, is I wasn't really sure how big this build was actually going to be. So I concepted out the design and rough styles and had a good idea of how big it was going to be, sort of height wise, but didn't actually do my research on the width until about halfway through designing it. So when I finally worked out that I was going to fit it on and it was going to be okay, I wanted to move it at the first opportunity I got. Now, for the eyes, to make the eyes stand out, I didn't want to use the same black I'd been using. I want to give them a good shine. So you actually use the marble, granite, not really sure what type of tiles to call them now, but I use them as kind of a good highlighting, reflecting surface. As for the other colours, so we've got a few blacks in play, we've got a grey, and we've got a couple of whites in play, one of which will be changed at the very end of the video. Now, here are the grates and grills I was talking about that will be used across the Stormtrooper's vents for the nose. You can see I'm just playing with the designs here of the tiles, and in doing so it's just making the design look a little bit cleaner. This will actually be done across the whole of the nose vents, but first things first, I'm going to lay down all the designs and go from there. This also helps out because I wasn't 100% sure how I wanted to do the vents at first. This gave me time to get a bit of a feel for how it was going to look and what the best possible option was. So as you can see here, I'm just going around adjusting all the tiles ever so slightly using the quarters. You can see actually I will miss one of the tiles and will not update one until the very end, and that is only because I didn't see it. And Ryan in recording is a muppet and didn't notice it until near the very end. So you will notice on the right hand side of the vents there will be one that does not get adjusted until the very end of the video. So as we move around then, while I'm finishing off this build, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the channel. So we're coming to the end of week 2 of basically the channel reboot. Now, I hope you've been enjoying the new content in the Minecraft story mode. Obviously, Pokemon Aqua now has its own day. There's been a few changes to the room builds. I hope you've been enjoying them. And obviously, Project Pixel is now a weekly show, and also, well, there's quite a few changes going on really, so I hope you've been enjoying them. I've really been enjoying making the new content, and yeah, so as I go around here and just do some of the highlighting for the Stormtrooper's helmet, obviously I want to let you guys know that this will be available for download, and if you're not sure how to do that, just search Mysterious Mr. Ryan, but there will be a video coming on my channel shortly of how you can actually download and how it helps me if you do, and follow me on the Sims 4 gallery. So highlighting in the darker kind of creamy white colour here, and that is again probably one of the more predominant colours you use on the build, but I actually think they give an amazing level of depth to the build, and without them, it just being plain white, it would just look wrong. So I think this actually helps make the build look so impressive. So just coming across what will be the nose of the person behind the mask, and just going to come around and do all the cheek highlighting as well. So we're coming towards the tail end of the video now. Really, we're just going to clean up with the last couple of bits here, and I just want to remind you that don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Links are in the description for all my social media stuff. The reason why I say that is lately I've been posting lots of pictures, making lots of comments about what's going on, even giving the occasional sneak peek to other videos and series. So make sure you follow me on them so you don't actually miss out. So just going around the opposite side of the cheek, most of this build is basically a mirror image. So once I have one side sorted, I then had the other, and then going around here, it's time to do the last bit, which is actually the white highlightings. This is my favourite part of the build because I love this white. This white tile is so bright and so vibrant. It really goes well. And also, this means the end is in sight. And trust me, after 43 minutes of clicking individual cells, it starts to get a little bit tedious. But you know what, I'm proud of this build. I love the way this turned out, and just as we move up to the helmet itself, we're going to be starting to move into the glamour shot shortly. So ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the last bit, which is to actually adjust some of the colours ever so slightly. So I'm going to change the highlighting colour and just adjust it ever so slightly because I wasn't quite happy with how it was looking. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have liked this video, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider getting subscribed so you don't miss a single video in any one of my series. Speaking of other series, check out the description, tons of links to all my other content, things you should really be checking out. Also, as I mentioned earlier, social media links down there as well. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I am out. Stay awesome, and I will see you in the next video.